Shall we? I think we shall. Hello folks, of course, how you doing? It is 9 o'clock Sunday night, UK time. Where's the chat? Ah, there's the chat. All's good in Melland. Oh, good stretch. Hello, 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 hello. Sun's out, England won. Had a barbecue. Garden looks tidy. Mel is in a happy mood. Kez has ran off upstairs. She's had an early night. She's gone watch TV in bed. Willow is raiding the kitchen, so we'll see her shortly. And how are you lot? You all good? Right. Who we got? You know the drill. Right, I'll just start at what names I can see and we'll go from there. Oh God, there's lots of you. I see Backbone Max, Martha, Tim, Jamie, Sinova, Elcat, Luca, Dan, Galactic, Druid, Craig, I had Tam, Chetty Monkey, I like that, Miko, Gary, I think I'm Sleepy, Joanne, Melon, Red Green, Stemmer, Jim, Nicholas, CJ, Patrick, Dave, Dan Radham, the mod for a minute here. Hello, buddy. Jeff, Zon, Mac the Maker. The crowd's all in. Hello, folks, of course. How are we doing? Oh, there we go. I believe after 1.5 hours, YouTube went crazy. The live show on Thursday, yes. It was quite weird because it dropped out in stages. So some of you got dropped out and then, then the rest of you got dropped out. There was nothing on my side. It was all good and then YouTube died. And by the time we got it sorted and that sort of stuff, well, tried to get it sorted, it just wasn't happening. So we had to knock it on the head. But me and Fred had a good time. And the resin colours come out looking lovely. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. How much is on that, then? Come on. Bring it here. Oh. Is there any drink in that, or is that just a cup of squirty cream?
No, squirty cream, Dr. There, the rest is drink.
What drink is it?
Hot chocolate.
Is it hot chocolate, or is it a milkshake hot chocolate?
Hot.
Hot. Right.
Love you.
Is that all I get?
I know, but I need... I'm trying not to spill my drink.
Love you, darling. Good night, God bless.
Love you. Good night.
So, where's Fred? He'll be tucked up at home on a Sunday night. How was your week? It's been really, really good. Mel, you're still live with Fredicus. Of course I'm still live with Fredicus. You gotta love YouTube, haven't you? You know what I mean? There. Thank you, YouTube. Right, hopefully that's fixed it. It does that. It switches every so often. Do you know what I mean? It's quite bizarre. It'll just switch to what the previous show was. Even though it was all set up and it was streaming previously and the whole, sort of announcement thing was working. Well, as far as YouTube does work. Right, so question and answers time. Obviously, if you've got any questions you want to ask me, the link is live. It is in the description. Okay, yeah. So get your questions on there and I'll pull up the doc and start tracking those now. Once we've got a few, we'll get stuck in. My week has been busy. Quite a bit of editing. Got a lot of footage on the go at the minute. The Henge video, that's already on, that's on Patreon and will be coming out on YouTube on Tuesday. Yeah. The resin tint one's coming close to being finished. Yeah, there's a couple of technical terrain ones that I've just got to edit up. They've all been filmed and that sort of stuff. So they're all going on to Patreon first and then they'll come out. So I reckon with the footage I've got and what I've been working with, I'm a couple of weeks ahead. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm in a good mood. It's been a good week. Right, let me get the Google document. Right, no questions as of yet. That's going to be an easy night, isn't it? Right, here's one for you. Yeah, before we get stuck into the questions and editing, I smell new videos. Yes, indeed, new videos are on the way. Quite a few of them. Like I say, it took me a while to get everything set up and sorted. Yeah, but in the meantime, I've been prepping everything and getting everything in place, and so everything's just flowing nicely now. Yeah. Still showing us live with Fredicus. It's not going to let me change it, is it? You git. You absolute git. No, it's not going to let me change it. You watch. I give up. I give up. Not on the live stream, just with the title. All save changes saved. Let's see if that sorted it. I doubt it, but we can try. Alright, questions are coming in. So, while the questions come in, yeah, cruising the old Facebook with a mate of mine, yeah, and he's posted that you know, give me 2 movies to choose from, yeah, and he's a bit of a sci-fi geek, that sort of stuff. So I picked 2 sci-fi movies, yeah, and he'd never heard of either of them. So I'm going to ask you lot, okay? You pick one or the other, or just say don't know, you know, wherever, yeah. So if you had to choose between 2 films, one of them being The Last Starfighter and the other one being Enemy Mine, which one would you pick? Right, this is where I watch the comments explode. I'm waiting for it. Oh, that's good, bro. Goddamn, never believe. Cal's just come in. Druid's going for The Last Starfighter. Last Starfighter. Both kill Jay. Can't pick. Enemy Mine. Last Starfighter. Last Starfighter. Last Starfighter. Neither. Dark Star. You know, Tam, don't start throwing other things in. Dark Star was damn good, but that wasn't the question. Enemy Mine. Enemy Mine. The ending of The Last Star was a cop-out. Ooh, getting controversial. Tight decision for Pagan. Seeing both films. Last Fighter. Enemy Mine. Oh, you see, we're getting a decent split. It is sort of slanted towards The Last Starfighter. Miko hasn't seen either of them. Dude, you gotta watch these. Galactic saying hard choice. Enemy Mine. Tim saying Enemy Mine. Ooh. Okay, Mal. Enemy Mine. There you go. See, my personal favourite would be Enemy Mine. I just like the story more. So the Last Starfighter was a really good, yeah, but the story was a bit... The story was an adventure. It was an adventure story, you know. Kid suddenly gets choose to save the entire universe in his own planet and all that sort of stuff in interspace. Yeah. Whereas I actually really liked, you know, the story behind, what do you call it, Enemy Mine. Laura says she'd rather watch a chick flick. Oh. Laura, you disappoint me. You disappoint me. I had such high hopes after that palm tree.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Apologies I'm not on the light show yet. Oh, brilliant. Take care. I'm guessing Jace doesn't know they appear on screen anymore. Jace has been busy with family stuff, by the way. That's why we haven't seen much of him lately. But thank you, buddy. And Jace has just hit my target. Yeah, all I was looking for it was about 20 quid tonight, to be truthful, to get a mic stand, because that's the last thing. I've had to take the one that I use for the webcam here, that we got for the webcam here, to the studio to hold my audio, but my audio is sounding so much better now. Also, spending about 40 hours on an audio course actually learning how to do post-production audio. Yeah, I know phase rotation and everything, all sorts of weird stuff. Sibilants, that's an interesting thing. Then Krull. Oh, Krull. I wrote a computer adventure game based on Krull. Yeah, called Krull when I was a kid. Yeah, I used to do geeky stuff like that. It was written in BASIC. Or we'd watch Die Hard, you know, the documentary. Cool. He still thinks it's a documentary. He's going to twig one of these years. The only thing like that, the only sort of saving grace is because as a family, it's fair to say that our viewing habits, mine and also Kerry's and all that sort of stuff, and the kids, we're on demand. Me and Kerry watch I watch a lot of YouTube, I watch a lot of documentaries and a few sci-fi series on Netflix. Kerry just soaks up series and stuff like that. She's a bit of a binge watcher. Yeah, the kids, they're YouTubers, that sort of stuff. You know, they like that sort of stuff. So you don't get repeats. They don't really come across. They don't see Die Hard except at Christmas. Old June, yeah, Old June was good. Hawk the Slayer. Now that's going back some. If you ever want to watch a strange film, watch Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. Not Labyrinth. What was the one before Labyrinth? There was a... I'm sure it wasn't Krull, was it? Was it Krull? Was Krull the one with, like, the demon? You know, the red guy with the big black horns. Ice Pirates. Game of Thrones. Red Sonja, yeah. Star Wars. We're talking about. Then I suppose we don't think we've stopped thinking of Star Wars as a classic now, haven't we? Legend. Oh, Dark Crystal. They're doing a remake, aren't they? Jim Henson Company is doing a remake of Dark Crystal. That's going to be amazing. Yeah, Krull was the spinny thing. Legend was brilliant. Legend was really good. I know that was Duke Nukem. Erding. With David Bowie. That was Labyrinth, wasn't it? Alright, let me check how the questions are going. I've got 3. Alright. I'm going to get stuck into these for a second. Right, obviously, I've hit my target for tonight, so thank you guys. If you do appreciate everything, yeah, links are down below, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not really expecting, yeah, because I am very much aware it's been a bit quiet on the channel as late, yeah. So, we'll get back into things. I already know we're getting back into things because the videos are already there and they're going up on Patreon, so I'm quite chilled about this sort of stuff. The important thing is, I've got my mic stand, which I need to order after the show. Yeah, so, but if you do appreciate it and appreciate the help, links are down below. Yeah, right today. Okay, first one, Jamie's asking, done any more work on Tatooine? No. Yeah, just been a bit busy, haven't had time to really sit down with Corbin, to be truthful. Bit guilty about that, if I'm honest. Yeah, life's just been manic with Kez starting his shifts and that sort of stuff, and I've been sort of pretty busy to get back on course and all that sort of stuff. And so no, I mean, I finished that, so that's done. But I need to get stuck into some more stuff. We haven't played League. We've been playing more X-Wing lately, to be truthful. Yeah, I think the thing is, it's just hobby time with Corbin has been a little bit limited lately, and so we've gone straight for our game, which is straight out of the box, so we can just get it set up and play. You know what I mean? Ewoks movie. Is my room darker? I think it's the auto contrast cap because the curtains are still open. There is less shine though. It does look a little bit darker. Why, thank you. What you mean, hair? Phew. But no, on the actual gaming, no, we haven't got any further on Tatooine, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, but we have been gaming. To be truthful, yeah, we even bought a new core box set of the first edition. Yeah, of X-Wing. Now I know second edition's coming out, but we reasoned that, well, they'll be dirt cheap now. Yeah, so we got ourselves another box set just to get a couple of extra TIE fighters and an X-Wing. How about build the Royal Palace from Naboo? Do you know what? The only reason I can visualise the Royal Palace from Naboo is because me and Corbin spent ages battling through it on Lego Star Wars. And Callum's going for a brew. Don't talk about anything too interesting. Alright then, dude. We won't. We'll wait till you're back. Let us know when you're back, yeah? Zardoz. Oh, God. Sean Connery in those red underpants. That's all I remember from Zardoz. And the occasional you know, it was a rather grown-up film. Bit like Barbarella. I'm doing this palace now. Nice one, dude. It's kind of been weird because Tatooine, it's a project with me and the kids. Well, specifically me and Corbin. And like I say, hobby time has been quite restricted. And I don't want to get too far ahead with it. Yeah, and sort of leave him behind. At the same time, yeah, when it comes to my sort of personal hobby, I've actually been doing a lot of the Burma stuff recently. Back in the studio. And what I've been doing in the studio is if I find myself with a spare half hour or something like that whilst I'm waiting for something to dry or something to do, yeah, I'm just doing a little bit on my Burma build because I want to get back into bolt action. And I want to start gaming more and that sort of stuff, but I don't have a terrain set. I know. Yeah, I've even looked at, you know when I do my Let's Makes and I'll do one wall to show you the techniques, or I'll do a few different walls to show you different techniques, or if I do a bunker, I do one bunker, you know, and the Let's Make's always about just one piece. I've actually started now with the medieval stuff and the early European historical stuff. I've started making sets of things, so instead of with my longhouses, yeah, I've got 3 of them. Yeah, same with my roundhouses. I've made 3 of them. Yeah, instead of instead of doing just a single one. Yeah, it lets me show a few different techniques. Yeah, but on top of that, I'm reasoning that at the end of the Battlefield Basics, I just had like a couple of bits of stuff, you know, and a load of bunkers, different types of bunkers. But I didn't have a whole load of barbed wire or defences and so I thought, you know what? Yeah, when I do the tutorials, I'm going to up the numbers of the pieces I do in them, which means it takes a little bit longer. Yeah, obviously for obvious reasons. But at the end of the series, I'm actually going to have a terrain set out of it instead of a random collection of bunkers that get thrown into a cardboard box. Okay, Spaceballs, Red Dwarf. Chindits, yeah. I want to get back to my Chindits. To the extent that I've sort of... There's a guy called Mark Edmonds at the studio, okay? And he's an experimental artist. And he does some really interesting stuff, and he does some stuff where I just look at him and it's like, yeah, dude, you just thrown stuff on a board and thrown it around. But that's his art, yeah? For some of his stuff, I absolutely love. Yeah, some of the composition pieces between his photography work, and then he did this one piece of this model, yeah, and nude, but you couldn't see anything. You know what I mean? It was artistic, black and white, but he posed her as she was jumping to be an angel, and then he built wings out of real feathers, and then sealed it all in resin. Yeah, so she had real feathery wings coming off her, and it looked beautiful. You know what I mean? But he's an avid 40k player. Yeah, loves it. And I'm going to lure him away. I'm going to introduce him to 1940k. So I want to get my terrain set in the studio, get my Chindits there, introduce the rules. So I've even been refreshing myself on the rules and that sort of stuff. My memory doesn't go back much further than He-Man and Masters of the Universe. I love that. I've seen on Beasts of War there's a giant multi-system campaign for the Battle of Kursk, 75th anniversary. Bolt action was one of the systems mentioned. Yeah, I imagine bolt action would work for the squad stuff. And I imagine with the Battle of Kursk, you know, you're going to scale up to Flames of War, aren't you? As well. Videodrome. What's 1940k? That is 1940k. Bolt action. It's a historical war game, yeah, based around the World War II period. Okay, but it was written by the guys who originally wrote 40k. You know what I mean? So it's been given the nickname 1940k. Right, so let's get cracked on with some questions. Galactic's asking, do you have any recommendations on dungeon terrain walls? How about to go and make them look as realistic as possible? Right, are you talking... Right, I know Galactic's in the chat. Galactic, are you talking painting them or making them? You know what I mean, mate? I'll wait till he comes back. Dungeon walls, the best way with doing realism is you got to remember the dungeon environment. It's dark, it's grimy, it's typically damp and that sort of stuff. And so you want to be using your dark browns, your sort of desaturated greens, your sap greens, stuff like that to get the mould look and applying them as washes. Yeah, especially around the bottom at the bottom of the walls where they meet, you know, the floor, and you get that grimy stuff along there. I'm just seeing if he's in. Crawley, Galactic, making them. Right, okay. Making them, you've got a couple of options. Obviously, you can go down the Hearst Arts route or a similar mould supplier. Yeah, and just build them out of bricks. Quite fun. You know, it's scenic Lego, but a lot of work. Yeah, and the results are quite heavy. After that, I suppose, if you're going to make walls, then if you're not doing 3D printing and you're not doing like mould making and casting your own, then you probably look at engraving foam. So I'd probably look at about 10mm foam for walls. Yeah. Run roll up a ball of aluminium foil, kitchen foil. You know, kitchen foil. Yeah. Roll it up into a ball. Roll that over your sheet. Yeah, so you get a rough stone texture. Then use a pen to sort of engrave your brickwork. And then depending on what sort of dungeon you want it to be, depends on, you see, if we often think of it along the lines of, yeah, the more fantasy dungeons tend to have the bigger, chunkier brickwork. That seems to fit with a fantasy setting. Yeah, if you want to go to a more historical sort of setting for dungeon work, then you normally go for smaller bricks, which was actually what would probably be used. And then you've got damage, and then the state of the brickwork, you know, reflects the upkeep of the dungeon. Yeah, so, you know, if it's a really nice one, all your bricks are perfect and that sort of stuff. If it isn't, then, you know, get a blade, remove a couple of bricks, chip them off, you know, perhaps at certain points, have it so there's a little bit of a collapse, yeah, and just make sure that at the bottom, you know, you have the debris where they fall, because that reinforces what you've done on the wall if there's debris at the bottom. When people see a hole in the wall and there's no debris at the bottom, it's sort of, you look at it and you're sort of like, well, unless someone's swept up, that's kind of wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah? But that's how I'd approach dungeon walls, mate. Obviously, the terrainiacs, yeah, there'll be a load of suggestions on there. And for the dungeon stuff, you really want to head over to the dungeon guys, you know, the 2D guys. DMG, Scotty, there's a load of others. Yeah, Black Magic Craft, is it? Right, let's get cracked on. Okay, Galactic, anyway, hope that helps, mate, yeah? Like I say, I go with foam, yeah, if you want to generally design them. If you're worried about the structure of the foam, remember, you can actually, you know, use either foam board, EPVC, such as Foamex or Palite, or even some really good, you know, some decent corrugated cardboard, and you know, glue it to the back of the foam to sort of sturdy it up if you're worried about your foam walls getting damaged in transport and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but for the detailing of the brickwork, if you want to do your own, yeah, then I'd say that's the way to go. There is another option where you could probably smear something like a filler onto a sheet of foam board and then carve out the brickwork. It'd be a lot of work, to be truthful, but there is that option, mate. Oh, Black Magic Craft, yeah. Right, Coasty Craig. Have you ever considered using a 3D printer for terrain making? Thinking of more for things to add to pieces rather than larger bits. But they could be good for some bits, big bits too. Yeah, this comes up quite commonly, to be perfectly honest, this question. And it is something I need to explore. I need to get videos out, and I need to get myself more regular and, you know, get caught up. And I need to learn about... I need to learn about editing and graphics and that sort of stuff to improve my videos first, and a whole load of other areas. I need to learn 3D and 2D laser cutting as well. Yeah, as well as expanding my artistic abilities. Yeah, I'm currently, you know, and this year is all about improving my resin work, and hopefully, yeah, if the resin work goes well enough, getting back to the battle mats, yeah, and getting those nailed off again as well. But yes, 3D printing is something I'm interested in. For me, yeah, I would probably 3D print some big stuff, because if I've got a 3D printer in the studio, you know, I'm not going to be running it all the time, so I might as well run it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and run some big stuff off if it's easy. But for me, I was thinking 3D designing pieces that I can 3D print, and then I can then mould and cast to adding on to my buildings. Much like, you know, the terrain sprue stuff. I mean, this is a terrain sprue from, who's this from? Maelstrom's Edge? Yeah, the guys at Maelstrom's Edge. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, making this sort of stuff. But I'd only use it to print it to make molds so I could mass produce. But the reason I haven't got into 3D printing and all that sort of stuff yet is, one, I haven't mastered mold making and that sort of stuff yet. That's something that's scheduled for next year. I also don't know how to 3D print yet, so I don't really see the point in reaching out and going out and getting a machine. Also, I'm working on the logic that by the time I've taught myself mold making and 3D printing, yeah, or 3D design and I'm ready to get a decent 3D printer, the price will have dropped. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm holding off on that. What the train? Resin casting is 3 parts luck and 2 parts witchcraft. I've heard it. I've heard it described something similar. New vids are coming next week. And new vids are already on there. For all you patrons, it's already on Patreon. You can go watch it there. Yeah, it's... In fact, I can show you what it is. Yeah. Let me see. How am I going to do this? I need to add a source, don't I? And I want to add an image. Add source. Add new source. Browse. Ain't easy, this one. It's not on the Google Drive, is it? It's in video editing. Not raw. Processing. Process. Here, I'll show you that one. Right. Right, just so you can... I don't know if that's swapped. Is that swapped? Let's go to live, see what they're seeing. Yeah, there you go. So that one's on Patreon right now. Oh, Tam. Really, you had to say it, didn't you? There you go. That's better. But yeah, that's on Patreon right now. The technical terrain tutorial on the roof coverings, I'm scheduled to edit that Wednesday night, so I imagine that after the render that'll go up on Patreon on Thursday. I'm expecting the resin tints one will be up on Patreon on Sunday. YouTube wise, you're probably looking, ideally, every Tuesday a new vid will be coming out. Once I've got enough on Patreon that I'm ahead enough, yeah, and they're actually up there and done, you know what I mean? So I know I'm ahead enough. Then I'll then I'll start doing videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So yeah, but anyway, too much going on right now for 3D printing. But you spelled hinges wrong. Oh, shut up! No, I didn't. That's a monolith. I'm running about 50-60% sex, which, considering I don't have a vacuum gear, is pretty good. That's why I haven't got to the casting stage, because if you want to do resin casting and be any good at it, I mean, I went to speak to Rob about Hysterical Games, the guy who does Zombicide, and that's not Zombicide, Panzerhurst. Yeah. That's a weird game. It's so quirky. I do love it, but it's a weird game. I love the fact that, you know, that the dwarves are the Nazis and the orcs are the British. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's it. Thank you, Gaz. Oh, I may need to check my phone then. Right. Did it? Well, I'm off to Patreon after this. Well, yeah, the videos are there. But yeah, there's loads of videos coming out, and a lot of them will go on Patreon a long time before they hit YouTube, just because I want to get ahead of myself and still have a regular video. So you know, basically with my viewership, only a tiny amount of patrons, you know, when you look at my actual subscriber base and my active viewers and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And so for everyone else and the bulk of them, I'm more concerned about being able to get into a regular schedule than just getting them out as quickly as possible. You know, because, you know, once they're in a regular schedule, you know, there'll always be a video on a Tuesday, and once I get ahead enough, there'll always be a regular video on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and I'm all good. I'm not feeling like I'm rushing. Yeah, but for my patrons, you know, I'm just putting them out there because I figure those are the core fans who who sort of, you know, they'll, as soon as I come up with a video, they're the ones who, yeah, I'll watch that, man. You know what I mean? What t-shirt is this? Imperial Guard. Is you an orc t-shirt? When doing the curriculum, temperature will be a factor. but you can make some really neat items. Yeah, the resin stuff is really interesting, and I want to get into it. But like I say, after speaking to Rob at Hysterical Games, you know, because I was looking at me designing some sandbag stuff and him casting them so I could sell them at shows and stuff like that. And we never got round to actually making it happen because of everything, you know what I mean? Yeah, and the one thing that, you know, I got from that and talking to a few friends was, if you're going to do resin, you've got to do it properly. And that means pressure pots and vacuum chambers. And that costs money, you know what I mean? And so, just so much, yeah, that I don't have, so I don't see the point in investing the time or the money into engaging with that when it's not what I'm learning right now anyway. Have you heard the new Gorillaz album? No, I haven't. Right, okay. So, that was Coasty Craig. Right. Ben and Laura, my visitors this week. Okay, did you ever find up the smoking point of the resin dye ratio? No. I have found the bending point. Yeah, the amount of tint you put into resin, or the ratio that turns the hard resin into like a soft plastic. Okay, but I haven't got it smoking yet. But I am quite curious, yeah, to actually maybe do that and do it on purpose. But if it's something that I do on purpose, it's something that I need to do outside, somewhere safe, yeah, and therefore all on the site, i.e. outside my studio, because you know we're technically setting resin on fire. Yeah, so if I do that, I've got to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday when none of the major staff managers are on the site, you know, the site managers. Yeah. Security won't give a damn. They won't care. Yeah. But yeah, that's the battle plan on that case. Right. FYI, I got a vacuum pump 5-gallon pot for 120 quid. Sorry, $120. That's good, mate. They're a lot more expensive over here. Fire. Yeah, that would be the concern. Yeah, with it being a council-owned site. Yeah, if there was a fire, the fire brigade would be called. If the fire brigade are called, there are meetings. Yeah, if I do it on a Sunday, you know, no one will give a damn because no one was there to be responsible, so no one's going to lose their job, and they'll just be, listen, if in future, if you intend on setting things on fire, please don't, and it'll just be a memo. Right, Okay, next question. Adam M. Just got some Mod Podge. What sort of jobs should I be using it for instead of PVA? Right, first off, yeah, please understand that Mod Podge is just posh PVA with a heavy acrylic gel mixed in. Okay? The main use for Mod Podge, a lot of people will turn around and they'll use it and they'll say they water it down to make posh ceiling. Yeah, with specifically the matte Mod Podge. And yes, but you'll get the same effect by watering down PVA and putting a bit of matte medium with it, okay, on that factor. Some people, if it's the gloss one, they will use it as a coating to stipple it on and create water effects, and it can do quite well on that, but it will yellow over time because it is an acrylic. Yeah. My main use for Mod Podge is I find Mod Podge is great for sticking down foliage and clump foliage and stuff like that. The reason being is that PVA is great at sticking things that meet well. You know what I mean? Two flat surfaces that meet well. Yeah, but when you've got a flat surface and a bit of a bunchy, shrubby thing, PVA only has a few points of contact. Yeah, but with Mod Podge having a heavy gel into it, it's quite thick. And so that gel helps sort of bridge the gaps and lets the glue dry across the gaps, if you know what I mean. And so I find it's really good at sticking foliage down and that sort of stuff for the Mod Podge. Oh! Oh, pardon me. We'll have to have a chat. To be truthful, when I get into resin casting, we'll have to have a chat with Rob, because Rob knows his resin casting. He does tons of good stuff. Yeah, and then we'll have a bit of a live chat, and we'll have a bit of a sesh on that. What do you reckon? Right, so next one I believe is Max. Before we jump onto Max's, because Max is about halfway through. Well, I've got a couple of PayPals. I just need to check, because I think one is... Oh, Gaz, well done. I can't put him on the screen, because I can't change things like that. I can't add names to the ticker. Yeah? Mr. Fuso, here's my backdated subs. 25 quid from Gaz. Thank you, buddy. Gazby. Right, that's definitely the microphone sorted. We are in happy times. Thanks, buddy. Right. Oh, what's up, Oz? What? Why do you look guilty? Do you ever wonder when you never look when you catch the dog and the dog just looks at you with a guilty face? What have you been doing? Right, let's get stuck into some more questions, eh? Or I'm going to flick... Right, what are we on? We're on 42 minutes in. So I'm going to flick the kettle on very quickly, yeah? I'll just refresh the brew. I'm not even going to switch the camera off, yeah? And then, what do you call it? I'll grab a quick fresh brew, and then I'll come back in, and we'll get stuck into the rest of the questions, starting with Max. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. We could probably fit in a couple more. Yeah, but we might have to cap it soon. So if there's any of you who are desperate to get some information on something, get it down below. Yeah, right. In the meantime, yeah, links are down below for the questions. And also, if you're enjoying the show, you can support it down there. Also, links to Patreon and the studio wish list and all that sort of stuff down below. Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm going to top this up and give me a minute. Yeah? Oh! Hello, baby.
Maybe.
I'm still alive, Duck.
Hit me.
I'm still alive, just so you know. Why? What have you done?
I don't know. We're starting right in the middle of my knees. Just
Come
stop.
here. Don't worry, I'll move off camera. Just 1 second. Husband's got to do husbandly duties. Come here, let me have a look at your knee. What's up, Duck?
It's like.
Was it that physical exercise of the gardening today?
No, it was fine, and then it just started to hit just like on that
There.
round there.
Have you got a plica?
I don't know.
You got a plica.
Just all of a
Will you
sudden
stop
started
moving?
hurting. Ow! What?
There.
Around it towards the top. Yeah, there.
You got a tendon pull. You pulled a plica.
Oh, okay.
Hot bath. Take it easy. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
If you're wondering, a plica is a tiny fold, crease in the synovial capsule of a joint. And quite often when you pull, not pull a tendon or a ligament, but you get sort of a joint capsule pull, which is a vague one. They're sort of the points of stress in a joint capsule, so it's always roundabout. If you can find a plica, you'll find where you got a little micro trauma. And quite often, that's why you get plicas, because they're a sort of a weak point that have come along developmentally, as the joints develop as you've grown through adolescence. And because you get repeated trauma, therefore scarring, and it builds up into a little crease, and then it becomes a regular point. Yeah. There you are. Quick physiotherapy. Do you realise that that's like degree level and physiotherapy, and it's just that's just what it is. When I love how it's but it's just so simple and obvious, and you know what I mean. That's medicine. From a physio point of view, medicine's dead easy because it's all physical and it all comes with a normal explanation that sounds perfectly reasonable. I like that sort of stuff. She's hurt her knee. You should stop her swinging from the chandeliers. Do I look like the sort of person who has chandeliers? No. She swings from the light bulb, mate. And I'm not stopping her doing it because I quite enjoy it. You can giggle. Chuckling. Did you know Kez says she was going to come on to my live shows? Yeah, not actually on camera. She was going to sit next to me and monitor the comments for me and that sort of stuff. We can't get her out of the kitchen.
I'm after food.
There's chocolate cornflake cakes at the top of the cupboard. Would you like me to come get them for you?
No, they give me toothache. Oh.
What have you found?
Millie's cookies.
You've got Millie's cookies.
No, I've got this one to make them.
Alright. By the way, how are you doing these days, Mal? Actually, I'm doing pretty good. If I'm quite honest, the channel's taken a bit of a dip while we got over. But I'm actually already ahead. And so I know everything's going to bounce back and I'm in a good place, you know what I mean? You should make more videos on bunkers. Druid's become a patron. Thank you, buddy. It should give me an alert. Patron is tied into this. But it hasn't. You get? Oh, right. Let's have a look at some questions, shall we? Right. Max is asking, Mel, I'm wondering how to make slush and snow shine, but possibly in bulk. Found some buildings I could use on a layout. I need some guidance. I know you did it, but buying those little containers is really efficient. How should I go about from a wargamer's perspective? Slush, first one you want is, let's be honest, first one you're going to want is, you're going to want some snow flock, probably Woodland Scenics, the plastic stuff. Yeah, you're going to want some gloss Mod Podge, because that'll give the slush the bulk and the gloss look. And then ground ice. You can buy ground powdered, not ground ice, ground glass. Yeah, because it looks like ice. You can buy it on eBay in quite big bags, to be honest, yeah. The hobby ones that we get, you know what I mean, they're pretty typical for hobby supplies in small quantities. But if you go looking for ground glass, you can find quite large bags of it quite cheaply, mate. So you can get these supplies pretty cheaply to make it. Imagine to make, say, a bucket like that, you're probably looking at about, how much is it for a wooden Scenics tub of flop nowadays? You know, the plastic shaker tubs they do. Are they about 12 quid? Yeah, you're probably lucky. You're probably about £4 worth of ice and £6 for the Mod Podge. Yeah, I reckon. About 20, 25 quid for a bucket full. So it's doable, mate. Ben's asking, do any more videos on palm trees? Yes, I have. I have been doing palm trees. Oh, that's paper. Whoa, Stuart, I'll get to that in a second, dude. Thank you. What is it with you guys tonight? Are you all adding zeros? I'm not used to this. Shit, how close am I to dancing? Yeah, I mean to say, but thank you. Yeah, but
just shut those curtains up there.
Yeah, 2 seconds, Duck. Let me. I forgot. Right, palm trees.
Did you forget what you were doing? Easily distracted.
I am.
I know.
Yeah, just to show you, as best as I can. Yeah, but what you are seeing there, yeah, is essentially me trying to work out, yeah, palm tree painting effects. Because yes, I am back doing palm trees. Yes, they're plastic palm trees, but I'm not going to beat my nemesis in one go, am I? You know what I mean? I'm going to have to take it on in little bits. But I will beat it. I tell you, yeah, there will come a point where I make absolutely awesome palm trees. The coconuts will be the right colour and not hairy. And other factors. By the time I finish, yeah, because of the way I do it is, as I practice modelling, I also like to learn about the thing. Especially if it's a real thing. You know, why? And all those sort of questions. Yeah, it occurred to me, yeah, I'm going to know a hell of a lot about palm trees. Can you do a video on creators, please? Yeah, it's in the Let's Make playlist already for you, mate. Right, moving on. After Max, we had... Okay, Max Anthony. And what are you asking, Anthony? What scale size buildings terrain would suit Matchbox cars? I'm starting to play Gaslong. Would suit Matchbox cars. What scale of Matchbox cars? No, wait. We say it's the, you know, we need a scale because scale's important. You know, essentially you need to match the, what you call it, you need to match the buildings to the cars. But that's only if the cars match the scale of the models, mate. Yeah? If they don't, scale it to your models. Okay? It's quite difficult for me to say what scale or size when you say Matchbox cars because there's a lot of different Matchbox cars and we could be talking completely different things. Yeah, but basically, if you have a Matchbox car of something you know it from something in real life, you know you can find out its measurement in real life. You can measure the Matchbox car, and that will give you the scale, and then you can carry that scale across to whatever you're doing. But the miniatures for this game, yeah, they should be a certain scale anyway. You know what I mean? They should be sold at a certain scale. So surely you can just go off that scale, dude. $172. Scale is 164. They reckon 164. Got that. Now that you know about them, you need to go to Brazil and I'd love to go and see the real things. Love the holiday.
Now?
Hmm.
Have you got a brew?
Yes, Doc, thank you. Gaslands. That's the game where you buy Matchbox cars and glue guns onto them, isn't it? Bit Mad Maxy. So that's why you don't have miniatures to scale. Right. Okay. What scale are Matchbox cars? Right. Matchbox cars are primarily made in two sizes. The smaller ones, regular size, are 175. Yeah, but are often classified as 164. Though they range from smaller than 1/100th to larger than 164. Yeah, go for 164, mate. There you are. Underdog, no, I'm not, mate. Right, back to the questions.
Right, I am going back to watch my programme. Kiss. Love you.
Love you.
Shut the door, because my hands full.
Yes. Right. Next question. In fact, no, Stuart first, because this comes straight through. From Stuart W. Is there a message? No message. Just 30. Thank you, buddy. Thank you indeed. I pushed me 25 off dancing. With half hour to go. Should be safe. Right. Next question. Okay. I think this is from Malon. Yeah. What is it better for you to use to paint fantasy buildings? Oil or acrylic? Acrylic. Definitely acrylic. Yeah. Oil paints. Hello, dude.
Hello.
Oil paints are used for, what do you call it? We mainly use them for specialist washes and stuff like that, but I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I've hardly used them in years. You know, occasionally I'll use them for something. I like oils for when, I want to get real grime, and you get that oily sort of grime. Yeah, but beyond that, yeah, generally I use acrylics for everything. And most people do, to be perfectly honest. Curtains drawn, lights back up, shiny headers returned. Yeah. Auto exposure. That's what that is.
Nice, Dad.
Really? Oh, I like the little caveat of I love you at the end of that. I.e., don't kill me, Dad.
Yeah.
Right, so. Next one, Gazby. Right, what's that, Gaz? I've been asked by my local gaming club to make a 3D version of the Shadespire boards. How would you go about attacking a project where you are copying an image to make it into physical terrain that perfectly matches it? First thing you need to do is, quite often the image in this case is going to be a game board. I believe, you know me guys, I have invested very little time into looking at Shadespire, mainly because it's 2D. Yeah. Not a massive fan, to be perfect. I'm a terrain guy, you know, I've already got my systems. I'm not going to jump into a system that doesn't have terrain. Yeah, so I haven't really looked at it, but I imagine what you're looking at is very much like a Hero Quest tile, in which case that's your template for your base. Yeah, then to build it back up, what you need to do is you need to standardize, yeah, your wall height. Yeah, how high are certain walls? This is important for movement and for placing things together and that sort of size. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, you'll need to standardize your doors and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Your entrances, so you can make sure that across the range all of the tiles fit together. Or if you're going for that thing where you're doing like, right, these doors are big doors and then you've got narrower doors, so you've got two sorts of standardization. But the important thing is standardise the wall height, standardise the entrances or the transitions from tile to tile. After that, yeah, what I typically do is I box it. And so I build up previously I've used foam board. Yeah, if I was to do it now, I'd probably use EPVC. Yeah, but I build up a box around it, okay? And then I fill that with foam and the detail. Now, I'm not saying that I'd build the box first, but this idea that you're basically making a box with a room in it. Okay, it often depends with, you see, when I did it in the past, you know, I did it with Hurst Arts, so that was relatively easy when I boxed up the walls, yeah, to actually put the bricks in, you know, because the detail on the rocks. Yeah, you're right, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
There you go.
Oh, nice one, dude. Yeah, you're on screen. Want to sit in for a minute? Pull the table over. Just sit on the table, pull the table over, lad. Right, so, yeah, Gaz. When I did it in the past, it was, I used foam board around the edges, and then that actually helped, because as I was building the walls, it sort of gave me a backing to sort of push my bricks against. Yeah, but looking back, yeah, if I was doing the walls out of foam or 3D modelling or something like that, that would actually be quite hard to detail. So I'd probably want to do them separately, or even do the room in 2 halves and bring the room together with the final base painted. Yeah, but essentially you want a hardened box around it. Yeah, this is important because if you've standardised all your heights and you've got a hardened box around it, everywhere you put 2 rooms together, you actually get quite a strong support. And so what you can actually do is you can literally build, yeah, your dungeon on top of your other pieces, as we did, or your shade spire boards, and physically work your way down towards the bottom of the table by working your way through the boards. Yeah, and take them off as you go. Everyone's saying hey to you, dude.
Alright. Did I?
Mm. $57 then is what Scully is asking. Do you know male pattern baldness is hereditary?
Oh god.
Mm.
I don't want to inherit your hair.
I'm not going to inherit your hair.
Lack of hair.
Too late, dude. Right, so, yeah, that's how I'd handle that. If you're going to 3D model it, that sort of stuff, then your workflow will probably change. I wouldn't build the box initially, but standardised rooms, standardised measurements. If you go off the floor plan, Shadespire is probably already standardised by the designers, I'm guessing, so they fit together and that sort of stuff. So just follow that, dude. Yeah. One thing to factor in is you may need to, you may need to factor in a buffer zone around the playable area. You see, when they design the room tiles, yeah, when it's a 2D cardboard tile, they don't have to worry about whether the model with the big wavy arms can fit in that corridor or in that corner or next to that wall, because there's no physical wall. So I haven't seen the models, but if the models are, if they're Games Workshop, I'm guessing they're dynamic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so in that case, I'd probably look at putting in a sort of a ½ inch buffer zone or something just around the room, so you can actually, you don't want to get that situation where you've done all the great work, but you can't really play on the boards because you can't put 2 models standing next to each other down a 2 model wide corridor. You know what I mean? So that's another factor to what you've got to factor in. But yeah, I mean, without actually seeing the shades, let's have a look. Shadespire. Images. Oh yeah, they're wavy arms. They're big bases. Is it a hex-based game? Oh, hex-based games. They're a nightmare for modularity. Room to room, tile to tile. I mean,
I'll take my lag.
you're heading up, are you? Whoa, whoa, whoa! You've just gone in the kitchen. I've heard.
I've opened up a box of the Rice Krispie flakes.
What have you got in your bag? You're busted, lad. You don't go in the kitchen and then saying you're taking your bag up to your room.
There's nothing in my bag.
As he turns his back to me to take something out of his...
Books. Geography books. DT books. Too many books. No, found a biscuit.
Look, there's nothing in my bag. It's just books. Things I don't see the the little slip pocket at the back.
I'm sorry.
What are these?
I like my custard crayons.
Exactly. How many custard creams?
Can I put my orange in there at least?
We haven't stopped checking yet. There's other pockets. Wait, there's a zip there. What's in the zip?
Let's go.
Really? Please don't tell me there's some more. You put more in the zip.
No, I haven't.
Okay, then pass me the bag.
No, I don't know.
Pass me the bag.
No, I don't know.
Corb, I'm live on YouTube.
Defend.
Corb, I'm live on YouTube. And you're not walking away.
What is your step?
Sorry, guys.
You're choking me out.
I'm not trying to choke you out, lad. I'm just trying to see. Right, what's in the bag?
It's just books.
Dude, look how hard you fought to stop me.
Okay, there's a cake.
There's a cake.
I like my cake.
Where's the cake?
Where is the cake?
Yeah, I want to know where the cake is.
Where is the cake?
Wait, just a minute. What's the... You've got a lunchbox in here.
Yeah, I've got a lunchbox.
Yeah, but you still got munchies in it.
Okay.
You're not good. One of the downsides of filming at home is that you get sneak insights into family life in the boss house. Today's on Charles strangling. Eat the evidence, Oz. Sorry, guys. They are miniature custards. His munchies. Yeah, he has forgotten that at one time I was that lad. Look, Corbin hasn't got a massive interest in his schoolwork or his school books, so when he's taking his book to bed, it's like, whoa, come on. Ordered you the... Oh, thank you, Craig. Oh, thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. Craig's just jumped on the studio list and got me my glue sticks.
I've got nothing on me. There's no pockets on this.
Leave your bag here.
Can I have my orange on the back then?
You can have your orange.
I've got my orange.
Pat down.
There's no pockets.
I don't even want to... No, I don't even
No
want...
pockets.
If you manage to smuggle it through there, you can keep it. I'm gonna love you, lad. Good night, God bless. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and worn it out. Is that the game or my parenting style? He's getting craftier as he gets older. Soon he'll start rogue or ninja and you'll just to get the snacks past. He is getting better. But, you know what I mean? It's like a competition, isn't it? It's to see who's wily enough. I like it when he thinks he's got one over on me. Yeah, and I'm playing a longer game. Yeah, and it's like, I'm setting you up for the 4. Yeah, I mean, he's been dodging picking up the dog muck for about a week because that's one of his jobs. Yeah, and I made him cut the grass and he forgot to pick up the dog muck. Yeah, and it was like, he came in about 5 minutes late and it was like, I need to go pick up the dog muck, and I'm like, yep, you learned. Yeah. Tell the lad to hide the snacks by taping them to his back. 12 custard creams as a midnight snack. To be perfectly honest, you know, we quite often say, you know, oh, we did it when we were young. If Corbin did half the things me and Kerry got up to when we were young, because I've heard what Kerry got up to, and her childhood was very much like mine. You know what I mean? I'd have a heart attack. So I don't rain on him too hard. Son, father, dog is hungry. Dad, we will buy a new dog. No, I don't mean you, dude. You're okay. Do you want a custard cream? Come on. Good boy. Don't want. Actually, yeah, I'll give you the broken one. You won't care, will you? Come on. Hello. Calm down. Ready? Nice. Go on. No more. Go lie down. Right, let's get back on it. So yeah, just to wind up Gaz's question. Yeah. I'm sort of struggling to visualise because I can only see this one game board. Yeah, so I'm struggling to visualise what it'd be. But yeah, it should be doable, mate. Should be doable. Right. We need to go through these. That was Gaz's question. I've got 16. Right, I'm going to lock the questions off now. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to have far too many questions to answer. Yeah, I need to check my phone. Callum's asking when can we expect Stalingrad vids. To be truthful, it might take a while before the Stalingrad vids come out because there's a lot of planning. It's weird. I'm sort of off the back of the Stalingrad project. I'm recording right now 4 different videos. Yeah, so it's quite complicated, and it's the first time I've tried to do something like this. So I'm not pushing myself to get content out because I want to make sure that I'm good with it and I can handle it, and I'm not going to put something out that I'm not going to be able to continue with. You know what I mean? So Stalingrad will be coming. Yeah, but it's coming. Odin's just donated. Pays dues. Better late than not at all. Thank you, buddy. Getting close. Uh-oh. Right. So that's what's going on with the Stalingrad vids. Every dog is a lapdog. It's all about dedication. Someone over there is asking, I want to make some industrial trains similar to the new stuff, new GW stuff. Yeah, that's the platforms and the drums. But I'm working on a budget for my questions. What's the best material to make catwalks and pipeways, and the best way of painting them up fast? Okay, look, without going into massive amounts of details, for your catwalks, have a look at something called granny grating, or embroidery mesh. embroidery mesh, I think it's called. It's called granny grating in the UK. It's a square mesh, and you can cut it and make brilliant catwalks. The pipe work, you are looking at pipes, plastic pipes, but on top of that, there's a brilliant little sort of kids bargain toy set called, like, I think it's Pipe Constructor or something. It's one of those cheapo little plastic things, but it's a load of T-connectors and stuff like that, and curves. You see it appear in terrain videos and on the terrainiacs quite a lot. Get on eBay, get some of those. I think they're a couple of quid a pack. Yeah, for the pipe work. For painting them up, oh dude, you know, painting them up fast, zenith highlighting with sprays. Pick your colours, start with your darker colour, hit it with a lighter colour from an elevated position, and only put not as much down as the darker colour, yeah, so it catches at the top and that sort of stuff. Then hit it with a bit of a wash, and that'll be a nice effect really quick. And then you can go in and sort of like micro detail if you want. Did a granny grating as plastic needle point. That's it. Builder straw kits. They're the plastic kits. Thank you, Dan. Right. Okay. Door screen. We don't have door screens in the UK. So it's not something I'm familiar with. Very quickly, just make sure I'm not missing anyone. So that's odd in. Oh, we've had 20 Canadian from our Kevin. Currently building spaceship containers. Nice one, buddy. Right. Thank you, Kev. Right. Ron Smith. What did you use for the beachhead sand, like your D-Day board on Pacific Islands? Thanks. I'm just trying to remember whether I used sand. I based it as normal, to be truthful. I think I just used really sharp sand. It was, I think it was. But yeah, if you're doing sand, what I typically do is either go for sharp sand or go for something like chinchilla dust. It's a very, very fine sand, chinchilla dust is. If it's a sand at all, I think it's a mineral. But it's very, very fine, and it's used for rodent baths. You know what I mean? You can buy it from pet stores, but it's really fine, so you can get some great effects with it. I know that's what I used on the I used chinchilla dust on the beach for the resin board that me and Ash were working on. Auto repair mesh. Yeah. Lots of cardboard tubes. Yeah, going back to the going back to the... There's also piping stuff in aquarium kits. Insane says chinchilla dust is ground down chinchillas. Okay, alright. But yeah, sharp sand or chinchilla dust. Yeah. What I do is when gluing a beach down, don't dilute your PVA. Put your PVA on raw, really spread it quick and hard with a brush, and then get your sand on. What you don't want is it soaking up through the actual the dust and clumping and stuff like that. You actually just want a contact surface. Yeah, and so it helps in that case if you don't water down your PVA. But give it a play, just, before you actually do it, so you get a feel for what you're doing. Right, question 13 of 16. Grawley. Right, basically, Grawley's asking, have I done a scale video? Yes, I have. You just haven't had it yet, because it's in my editor, and it's one of the new ones. I had this idea that, my talky ones, yeah, which don't involve terrain, Yeah, after a bit of research and just planning out, they tend to take more planning than my terrain ones. My terrain ones, I get a rough idea of what I do, and then we just wing it. You know what I mean? I know what I want to show you at the end of the day. Yeah, but with the talky ones, yeah, they're more about information and stuff like that, so they're far more planned out. Yeah, so what I did is I made use of a day, not this week, the week before, where I actually sat down and I'd been planning 5 different talky sort of videos. Yeah, and I did those in one day. Yeah, so I've got a bulk load of footage. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I just haven't got round to edited it yet. So Grawley, yes. Yeah, I have got a video about scales and stuff like that. It will be coming out rather soon. Yeah, I would imagine you will see it before the end of the month. Right, question 14 of 16, Kat. When are you going to do the next showcase? To be perfectly honest, it won't be this month. It will probably be next month. Maybe the month after. The only reason being is I want to get the terrain tutorials and the terrain videos out and flowing before I do the ancillary stuff like the talkie videos and, you know what I mean, and the interviews and that sort of stuff. I need to do the terrain tutor bit before we do the general terrain showcase bit and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's coming back. Well, that depends on Article 13. Yeah, if Article 13 gets passed, then there won't be any terrain showcases because I can't risk the copyright issues. If he releases all the things in editing at the moment, he'll make a killing on Patreon. Yeah, I will, but I won't have any videos then to release next month on Patreon, so don't worry about that. Yes, I did have a good Father's Day, just chilling. And have I ever done a project that screwed it up so badly that it couldn't be salvaged? Nothing that I haven't approached as an experiment. If I've approached something, then I'm not saying it's you see, even when I look back and I think, right, what have I done that screwed stuff up? And it's actually really rare of doing something that screws something up so badly that it just can't be fixed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now I do make screw ups, but generally they're when I'm experimenting and I know that it could go pear-shaped. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I was trying to think then if there's anything like materially that's gone wrong, that's messed something at the last moment. And I get that on models with frosting on models and stuff like that when I didn't understand the spraying and humidity and moisture and temperature and that sort of stuff. But that's all sorted now. The only thing I can think of is when I started the channel and I did some videos with some acrylic water effects, and they were sort of product overviews, but the acrylic shrinked and it cracked, the water effects did on these ponds, which sort of ruined them. And that's the only case I can think of. But even in that case, because it was a product overview, I mean, acrylic water effects aren't my go-to thing anyway. You know what I mean? I prefer resin, yeah, because you don't get those problems. So that's all I can think of. So I hate to say it, but you know, I know there's not been anything that I've wanted to build that I've messed up so badly it couldn't be recovered. I've messed up plenty of times, but it takes a special sort of mess up to really mess it up that you just need to bin it. JP Grotcoach, what's Article 13? Ah! That's the European's new union rule on copyright. And basically, it wipes out pretty much any excuse for using somebody else's material and that sort of stuff. It's quite brutal, and they reckon it's going to destroy the internet. It's just a piece of legislation that's going through the EU Parliament at the moment, and it got voted. I think it's going for its final vote soon. You know, in the next few days or the next couple of weeks. I mean, from my point of view, I'm quite lucky, yeah, because in all honesty, I mean, I could probably say I've got permission to use your photos in the showcases, but all the way along with the Terrain Tutor channel, I've always been really paranoid about copyright. That's why, you know, when I say, oh, it's this sort of tree, I don't throw in a reference tree. Normally, you have like a fair use excuse, which is if it's for education and that sort of stuff, yeah, or discussion or a few different things, then you can use, you know, other people's work just briefly. But you've got to have a decent reason for using it, you know what I mean? And fair use is quite complicated. Yeah, so a lot of people who do tutorials, they'll throw up photos and they'll throw up photos of stuff they don't have copyright to. I've always been really paranoid about that sort of stuff. So in my videos, it's always been me, my terrain, you know what I mean? I don't use anything, not sounds, not little clips like they do in some videos. You know, they put like the reaction clips from like, you know, they say something, and then they'll put like a clip from like, you know, an old comedy movie of guys just laughing or something like that. I've never done any of that. So I'm, copyright wise, I'm pretty solid. I mean, I'm pretty safe, to be perfectly honest. But showcases could become a bit iffy. And until we figure out how the law lands and how it's been enacted on the ground, I won't take any risk. You know, if it turns around like, you know, if you haven't got express permission and they can't prove, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's an issue. Yeah, no fair use laws. I now have a greater appreciation for my Mercury and freedom. We don't technically have fair use laws here. Ours works slightly different. You know, it isn't defined as a fair use like it is in the States. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's what's going on with the showcases. Right. Cookie dough. Joanne, right. I have some Viking buildings with thatched roof. How should I go on painting them? Right. Quite often, Vikings were up north, yeah, very damp, that sort of stuff. You want your darker browns, okay? Don't go bright. Whenever on, see, the thing with thatch is, yeah, when everyone thinks of thatch and they search for thatch, pretty typically when they find photos, actual photos of thatch roofs, they're lovely little cottages, yeah, with beautiful thatch roofs on, yeah, in the countryside on a summer, yeah, and it gives you the wrong impression because the thatch they use, it's preserved, okay, it has a preservative sprayed on it to keep it, you know, from going mouldy and that sort of stuff. When you see old thatch, it's actually quite dark from the mould and the mildew that grows on it. Okay, when you add it into a cold and damp environment, it's much darker and that sort of stuff. So go dark with your thatch and that sort of stuff. Go with the dark browns. Yeah, don't go really light and summery with it. It won't, well, it won't look wrong, but it'll look better dark. What will be the next funding project, buddy? I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit weird about funding and asking for your support on things at the minute. I'll feel a lot better when every Tuesday there's a new terrain tutorial coming out. Yeah, and when every Saturday there's a new sort of discussion, terrain lab, product overview sort of video coming out, I'll feel absolutely fine. Yeah, but I don't want to set net more targets and ask you for more support. Yeah, until I'm back in properly in the saddle and I'm giving you what I'm asking you to support. So to be truthful, I haven't really thought about it, mate. Yeah, there is a little bit of me which is sort of like if I was looking at a big target, I would probably look at a decent camera to work from home. Yeah, so I can film stuff with the kids from home. Yeah, because I bike from home to work. Yeah, I mountain bike. It's only about 5 miles. Yeah, so it's an easy ride. Yeah, but what I don't want to do is have my be taking my cameras from the studio to home and back again. Yeah, on the bike. Yeah, because I tend to bike on the pavement. There's lots of bumps, and they're my cameras. You know what I mean? I don't want to be knocking lenses and things out. You know what I mean? And so, one of them is likely to be a decent camera for home. Yeah, I mean I've got webcams and stuff like that, but there is a difference between a webcam and a proper camcorder. Yeah, so it'd probably be something along those lines. But I'm not being overly concerned, to be truthful. And we've hit our target, so. The next funding project, support Cubs custard cream habit. Joanne, yeah, it's an issue along those lines, just talking about. That's why I'm saying I need to see how, the new law lands before I use other people's materials in my vid. What would you suggest for the Viking roofs? Odin, what's it? Big rich Viking houses were often brightly painted. Normal farmhouses would be greyed out or tar brown. Yeah, that makes sense. Odin's great like that. He works in Viking history or something. He's an experimental archaeologist, I think, or like a reenactor, but goes and lives as a Viking for the summer. It's awesome. Actually, isn't it about time you went a Viking, Odin? Because normally he disappears for a few months in the summer. Yeah, and it's normally because he's been living as a Viking. Wooden roofs would be tar-coloured from the tar and a bit shiny, even if they were maintained well. Grey if not. Thatch roof would only be South England. They would be grey or dark brown. Yeah. Viking is actually a derogatory term. Norse or Northman would be more appropriate. Can I ask why Viking is a derogatory term? What's the etymology of it? They both have thatching and wooden tiles in the reproduction of a Viking castle a bit from where I live. So they use shingles, right? Is the law relevant to Great Britain, Article 13? Yes, because we are part of the European Union. I mean, I know we've got this Brexit thing going on and all that sort of stuff, but right now we're in the European Union and therefore the law applies. It's weird. It's weird with the internet and that sort of stuff, because when it comes to what laws apply to you, okay, I'm in Great Britain, yeah, but YouTube is American. Do you know what I mean? So, but I'm also in the EU. So what laws apply? You fall under lots of jurisdictions and this sort of stuff. So it gets a bit weird, which is why you need to be on top of things of copyright. You know what I mean? And that's why I tend to, really refrain from even risking it. Viking equals pirate, according to the insane. Oh, too much work in the museum. Well, only have 3 weeks of holidays this summer. Gutter, mate. Gutter. Viking means northern. It's basically like a general derogatory term. Right, so that's the thatched roofs. That was a good one. Thank you. That's been a nice thing. I've learned something now. It means someone that strikes out from a bay, if I remember correctly. Done. Vic is Scandinavian term for bay after all. Odin, Viking as a word is not from the Viking Age. It was only used in England just at the end a couple of times. Became more popular in the Victorian era. Ah, right. You get this quite a lot with certain things. They romanticise certain areas and come up with new names, and then because it's our history, we just think that it was always that way. The roofing would depend on where the house was made. Iceland peat, southern Sweden wood and reed. Yeah, very much so. Much like in the Outer Hebrides in northern Scotland, they were peat roofs. Right. Question 16. Oh, an easy one to finish off with. Yeah? Melon's asking, how old are you, Mel? Right, folks, we know what we do here. Whenever I'm asked my age... Actually, I'm not going to do that, because you all always say I look older than I actually am. I am 43. Odin, would you prefer we use the term Northman? That's quite an interesting question. Here we go, they've already started. 63, 25 and a bit. I didn't even ask the question. Yeah, and you're off. 60, 63, 102. Thanks, Gaz. Cat, or just Odin's people. All hail King O. Of course, Odin. Ah. Mel is old enough to know better, but still young enough not to care. Actually, I think it's more of a switch. I'm young enough not to realise I should know better, and I'm too old to give a... Which leads to... What do you do for a living? I teach model making on YouTube. What? 43, yeah. Norse is ethnicity, Viking is profession. I like that. We have 3 ages, a real age, a mental age, and an acting age. So true. Thanks for the beat, Backbone. It's the terrain version of Yoda. Teach you, I will. I better stop caning these custard creams or Corbin's going to get gutted. Right, folksicles. Very quickly, make sure I've not missed anyone. It would appear not. We are good. Oh, have a stretch. Can I just say, it's been a brilliant Sunday show. I've really enjoyed it, guys. We've had some good chats going. Yeah. You're eating your son's snacks. They're not his snacks. They're my snacks. He's nicking them. They're Dad's custard creams. The reason... Look, I have this thing, yeah, I eat the stuff most people don't like to eat in this house. Not because I like it, but simply because if I buy it, I know no one else likes it. And so when I come for it, it will be there. I thought custard creams were safe. I've even lost those now. He's disposing of the contraband cat. I've got to go put the rest in the biscuit jar. Right, let me close that off. But yeah, thanks guys. It's been a really good show. You know what I mean? I've really enjoyed tonight. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not saying what you call it. I'm normally down on a Sunday or anything. But you know, after a long day in the garden and that sort of stuff, you know, pretty honestly, you know, I am 43. I am getting on a bit. You know, I do feel a bit tired at the end of a long weekend. You know, I'll admit it. I'm adapting to daddy naps quite. You know, a Sunday nap in the sun. Oh, I'm liking these. Yeah, but tonight's show really perked me up. I've had a great time. So listen, all of you, really chuffed. Now I can tell you, Tuesday, the Henge video is out on public release on YouTube. If you'd like to see it now, it's over on Patreon. Yeah, so any patrons, it's there. Thursday, I am in the studio. Kez is at work. Yeah, so I might even do a later one. I might stay later. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, she might as well pick me up from the studio or something. That's the logistics. But Thursday, I will be live from the studio. Fingers crossed, you'll have a video on Saturday as well. But I might hold that back till Tuesday, just till I get into the rhythm, guys. Check out my Viking builds on Facebook, mate. Post them in the terrainiacs group, mate. I'll take a nose. Remember, post them direct to the group. Don't share it. And if you're not part of the terrainiacs group, the link is in the description. Just remember, unless you answer the question as part of entering the group, yeah, Kez won't let you in. She'll just delete you. So answer the question. Yeah, it's a dead easy question. Yeah, but answer the question and then Kez will let you in. Oh, I'm in on the close. You are Cypher, but welcome in anyway, matey. Listen, all of you lot, thanks for a brilliant show, guys. I will catch you later. All the best, yeah. Ta-ra.